Hey everyone, my name's Shock. I'm a former professional Rocket League player for over 4 years, as well as a current coach, and today we're going to be talking about reverse tornado spins. Reverse tornado spins are a little bit niche and only useful in a certain set of scenarios, but they are important to know, so that's what I'm here to help you with. To start, let's go to Freeplay so I can show you how the reverse tornado spin works, as well as you can practice along with me. To hover with reverse tornado spin, you actually need to be in the opposite of neutral position, which we talked about before. Again, what neutral position is about 70 degrees tilted upwards like this. But with reverse tornado spin, if we want to hover, we actually have to be tilted a little bit backwards, a little bit past that upright point like this, because it's the inverse of what tornado spin is. So when we jump, we want to get tilted a little bit backwards. And then with arrow left, all you have to do is push straight left, and now we'll be hovering. Now, you'll notice it's very similar to tornado spin, obviously, how you get pointed in each direction, and when you boost defines where you go. Wherever my nose is faced, if I boost when I'm going that direction, then I will go there. So you could also get used to this the same way you get used to regular tornado spin, where you're hovering in the center, and then when you want to go a certain direction, you just boost when your nose is faced that way. Now obviously this is slightly different than when your nose is faced a certain way with tornado spin. With tornado spin, you were looking at the inside of your nose, you know, where the wheels are. But with reverse tornado spin, we actually have to look where the hood is, where the outside of our nose is, and that kind of determines the direction we're going. So do keep that in mind. Now, this isn't nearly as important to know, but you should be comfortable in this position with what I'm doing right now and being able to go certain directions, turn around, go a different direction without moving your stick. What I use it for is mostly quickly getting my car upright and some quick turns when I need them. I'll explain how that works here. The most common way I use reverse tornado spin is by actually getting my car upright after I've come off the ceiling or after I've got a flip reset off the ball. So for example, if I go up to the ceiling here and then I land up here, you'll see that when I push my analog stick straight to the left and arrow left, what you just saw me do, was my car went straight upright. So we're here again, and now we're straight upright. This is extremely useful for, well, a few things coming off the ceiling. One, obviously just getting upright, but you know, when you pop the ball off and you get here, being able to get upright like this and then be able to go back towards the ball is extremely useful for a variety of ceiling shots, as well as quick recoveries off the ceiling, just so you get bumped off or you come out here. You know, being able to get upright really quick and understanding how your car is orienting is important. It's like a kind of get out of jail free card where you might be spinning in a way you're uncomfortable with, but you know, oh, I can just reverse tornado spin and my car gets upright the way I want it to be. On top of that, and most notably, I will use this right after getting a reset to get upright, which I'll show you here. Easy to practice in Freeplay if you already know how to do resets. Jump out and get a reset, and then you'll see that my analog stick just goes to the left, as well as holding arrow left, of course. And that gets my car back upright from this position. You'll notice it's the same position as coming off the ceiling. Our car is upside down and flat. This is the main use of reverse tornado spin that I have found in game where I use it, but there are some other different ways it works that are important to know. When we need to turn more aggressively than tornado spin can allow us to, reverse tornado spin is actually really useful for that. So, for example, let's say I am tornado spinning around the field, and then I want to use reverse tornado spin to spin. All I'm going to do is wait till my nose is faced the direction that I want to go, and then I will reverse tornado spin. So here, I'm going to wait till my nose gets faced left to avoid the ball, and then I'll reverse tornado spin that way, and you'll see I turn that way. And then, you know, I could do this around the field. This is really a drill I recommend to get used to this. So again, I'm tornado spinning. And then once I get to this wall here, I'm going to point my analog stick to reverse tornado spin when my nose gets faced left, and I'll turn that way. And that goes the same way for turning right as well, but you just wait for your nose to face right. So now I'm tornado spin this way, my nose gets faced to the right here, and then I tornado spin, and I go that way. I highly recommend doing this in slow-mo. I'll show you what that looks like, just at least to start. But I'll get up in the air here, and you could also just be spinning. You don't have to tornado spin the whole way, but I recommend tornado spinning if you can, because this is, again, where we should be in default when we aerial most of the time. So now we're here, we're doing the spin, nose gets faced this way, we turn, and it brings us this way, and then we can go back into tornado. And being able to do this in slow-mo is much easier than doing it at its quickest speed, because you get to really watch your nose and tell when you're faced where you want to go, and then go there. We want to make sure we turn left, and we need to do it quickly. So get our nose faced to the left, turn in this way. And now that we're back in that upright position, we can just go back into tornado spin and go again. Extremely useful. And you can also do this in rings. Like I talked about with tornado spinning, is that rings aren't that helpful with tornado spinning because the turns are too sharp. Well, now that you can implement this, the turns don't have to be too sharp, and you can actually do the later levels because you can turn sharper. So now I'm at level 3 in this rings map here, and I'll show you what that kind of looks like to use that reverse tornado spin in conjunction with regular tornado spin to be able to turn. So we'll see, I'm going to be watching again my nose the whole time I'm doing it. And then once I start getting into these levels up here, which especially level 4 here, which requires a pretty sharp right turn, I'm going to wait till my nose is faced right, and then I'm going to use reverse tornado spin to turn that way. So now my nose gets faced right, I use that reverse tornado, and now I've started spinning this way. And now I can get back into my tornado, reset, and then now I need to turn left. So once my nose gets faced left, reverse tornado that way. And you can see that turns you much sharper. And this should build on your understanding of how to turn your car quickly in a certain direction when you need it. This is marginally useful for aerials. It's not great or all that important, because if you're launching for an aerial, it's really bad if you have to move that much to reach the ball. But it can be like a last second, like, oh, I really need to get that direction, I'm gonna turn that way. For example here, like I'll purposely launch offline with the ball. Instead of just continuing to tornado spin and trying to turn that way, which obviously we can't do, what I would do in this situation is my nose gets faced towards the ball. I'm gonna use that reverse tornado to push my car that way so that I can actually end up reaching it. That would be the most common way, and probably pretty much the only way I use reverse tornado spin in just a regular aerial like that. Now the other and last most common situation is actually for ground to air dribbles, which I'll show you now. Specifically ones where we have to get a high pop that's forward, moving forward rather. So on this shot in realistic air dribbles, if we just try to jump up, pop it, and then tornado spin right after, we actually get pushed away from the ball. And the first place our nose goes is backwards, which means we can't really catch up to the ball in a way that we want to right away. We have to expend a lot of boost and time to try to get there, as you can see. But if we push through this contact with reverse tornado spin, we get to the ball much quicker because our nose never actually turns away from the ball. Our nose always stays face forward because when we reverse tornado spin, our nose gets faced towards where our nose already is. So if our nose is face forward, it will stay face forward. And that way we can actually get back to the ball much quicker. That's a very nice way you can use reverse tornado spin to accomplish that. Okay, that's it. Now you're ready to explore some more advanced mechanics using arrow left. I do recommend though, don't try to do all these things at once. Make sure that you're picking one thing to master at a time and then moving on to the next. That's why all these videos are segmented into separate parts so that you don't try to focus on too many things and then end up overwhelming yourself. I hope these sets of videos helped, and I wish you luck on your arrow mastery journey. Peace.